of July 1856, in a small Serbian village, Smiljan, at that time part of Austrian-Hungarian Empire, later Kingdom Yugoslavia, today part of Croatia. His father was Orthodox priest, he was Christian. The Christian rules: when someone died, after that we buried him. Tesla died on 7th of January 1943 in New York in his hotel room, and after that by Christian rules he was buried, but few years later, I'm speaking too fast?
Smooth.
Okay. But few years later he was exhumed and cremated, and nobody knows why. We don't know why that happened, but we know that Tesla wrote in his testament, everything I ever had after my life I want to send to Belgrade. So his nephew Sava Kosanovic brought to Belgrade 160,000 of people's drawings, calculations, personal belongings, which we keep in our archive, using them to change this exhibition, to create all these machines. And together with all this stuff, Sava Kosanovic also brought the urn and the ashes of Nikola Tesla. So in front of you is the urn, this copper globe, and inside this copper globe is the ashes of Nikola Tesla. This is the closest you will ever be to him, and this is the most valuable artifact which we possess in our museum. During his life, they said that he created 700 inventions. Only around 250 he put it under his name, protected, and became patents. All others were stolen, or he just gave to the industry, never cared about money and profit. For hydroelectric power plant on Niagara waterfalls, he got a contract. For every kilowatt that power plant produced, he will got $1. After 116 years, you can't imagine how much money, maybe the richest family in the world, he just destroyed that contract. He said, I don't want the money, I will create it for free. Then the first electrical car Tesla created 1903. It's 109 years ago. American industrials present the first one 2008 under the name Tesla Roadster. All these years he told us the problem is in battery. Yes, it was 109 years ago. Tesla didn't create a car which will travel 100, 200 kilometers, but he drove in it. But of course they existed in that time. The point is, all this time they told us the problem is in battery, but meanwhile we travel to the moon and back, to the Mars and back. You have nanotechnology in medicine, you have satellites, every kind of electrical device, every kind of nuclear weapon, and they said the human mind is not capable to solve the problem of this technology. It is. The problem is oil companies, money, profit, and everything. Second is with the trains. More than 100 years he realized how we can use magnetic field for the trains. Only Japan and Shanghai, they use this technology. They're like big magnets, float about the rails without the friction. They can travel so fast. In the rest of the world, they still use electrical trains. Electricity is much more expensive than magnetic field, money and profit. He created a prototype of laser. Before Second World War, he wanted to use it in medicine. Industrialists wanted to keep it secret for a gun. That's why he never finished that. Later, some other scientists finished that prototype. Now we're using them everywhere. He created radio signals. Thanks to him, Röntgen discovered X-rays, created first kind of pumps, ventilators, turbines, and so on and so on. In that time, people were very jealous of him, called him different names: lunatic, magician, they speak with the pigeons and aliens. If we hang out with him, we'll got mad, and this stuff. See, he said once, I know nowadays people afraid of me. Actually, the problem is they're afraid to understand my ideas and patents, but in 100 years, people will use all of them, and the world will be a much better place for living. After 100 years, we can't live anymore without AC. Everything that surrounds us is some way we have thanks to Nikola Tesla, and because all of that he did for humanity, we can only say thank you to this brilliant man and brilliant scientist. That's all for this live part. Any question?
I have a question. Do you know something? If is this energy used in mental hospitals to use mental illness?
Actually, yes. These electroshocks, high frequency electricity, they're using that for this in these hospitals. The point is, in every human body, our nervous system actually is working on some kind of energy. So high frequency electricity actually stimulates these nerves. So they can work better. He wanted to use for our muscles and everything, but people, well, I don't know if it's really helping people, but they're using also this high frequency electricity for these in these hospitals for these neurostimulations of the brain. Maybe it's more damaged brain than help it, but I believe me, he didn't have this idea to use for this stuff, but people using this, of course, in medicine. Okay, anything else?
Quick question. Do you have any information on the supposed Scalar Howitzer that he had developed? The Scalar wave weapon that he supposedly developed, or is that all just nonsense?
No, the point is, what's a laser? A bunch of electrons, when you put it to one point, it becomes a laser. So actually he created a prototype. He said he can increase with this weapon so much the voltage and the frequency, so it won't have influence on animals, people and everything, but on a electrical device, because when you hit it with this laser, actually you will actually burn the installation inside of machine. So he can burn every car, every kind of weapon we possess. He said he can create it so strong that even he can separate the gravity of the planet in a half. But he never finished that, of course, because he never wanted to create a weapon like that. He said just it is possible. About all this stuff you can hear in a movie, which will you watch right now. It lasts about 20 minutes, so you will go to the room with the chairs and watch something about these energetic shields around the planet, no wars in the world and this stuff. So you can go to the room with the chairs, take a seat again and watch this movie. I just want to thank you for visiting this museum. I want to thank you for visiting Belgrade. Come back again. I know again you will have great time over here. So see you again, not over here than anywhere else in the world. Thank you once more. Any other questions?